Right now, at 6, what we're learning from a 911 call that ignited a firestorm at a local Catholic school and cost a principal her job.
I'm right here advocating for your child who did come sit in my chair in my office and does trust me.
Plus, it's election night in Oregon with the biggest school bond in Portland history on the ballot. We're talking nearly $2 billion, and a high school senior trying to capture a board seat.
Being in PPS for the past 12 years, I know the good and bad.
Then, why a Memorial Day tradition on the Oregon coast to remember lives lost at sea is now facing a boycott.
For the city to just basically rain on our parade, it's just not right.
And later in sports, the sound of a bell and extra bounces.
Once I found out the game, I'm like, wow, this is really cool.
The local center helping change up tennis for blind and low vision athletes. First at 6, it is election night in Oregon with less than 2 hours to get your ballot into an official drop box. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Christine Pitawanich. Let's get right to Joe Ranieri live at the Multnomah County Elections Office in Southeast Portland. Joe, the results tonight could have big implications for local schools.
Yeah, for local schools and for years to come. Of course, there's lots of bond measures, big bond measures on the ballot tonight. The biggest one, though, would be that nearly $2 billion one that would be impacting Portland public schools. Now, that nearly $2 billion, David or Christine, would go to repairing some older high schools. That includes Jefferson, Cleveland, and Ida B. Wells. Money would also go toward renovations. We spoke to one parent who was behind getting this bond to pass.
I think it's about continuing the commitment that our city and our county is making to our schools and prioritizing their kids' safety and health so that they can learn. And when we have better schools, we have better communities.
You know, guys, there's a similar bond measure in Washington County with the Tigard-Tualatin School District. Not nearly as much, though, as the Portland Public Schools is asking for. And I also checked with some of the election directors throughout the Tri-County area just to see what voter turnout has been so far. This was as of earlier this afternoon. Multnomah County is seeing a drop, and really that's the case across the state. They're looking at about nearly a 20% voter turnout so far, while Clackamas County and Washington County are looking at right around 15%. But again, election directors tell me that this is kind of normal because this isn't as a grand of an election, if you will, compared to what we saw in November. David and Christine, back to you.
Yeah, $420 million for Tigard-Tualatin. That would be a property tax increase for those folks. Thanks, Joe. Joe Ranieri in Southeast Portland. By the way, school board races are a big part of the election cycle, though one of those races is unlike the rest.
And that is because a Portland high school senior is actually trying to grab a seat in Oregon's biggest district. Thomas Schultz went to meet the candidates.
School board races are generally as dry as an Oregon July. But in Portland Public, one is a little bit different.
Being in PPS for the past 12 years, I know the good and bad.
Jorge Sanchez Bautista is a senior at McDaniel High School. He's also running for school board.
It feels like a big opportunity.
With a Minecraft backpack flung across his shoulder, Sanchez Bautista has been balancing his race with finals and an upcoming graduation for months. And while he's young, he does have experience.
I've been in social advocacy pretty much all my life.
Sanchez Bautista says he's helped pass state legislation and worked with Oregon's Board of Education. He was also a strong advocate of Portland teachers during their strike 2 years ago. Now he's running to ensure future students are successful and schools adequately funded.
We need an advocate and a true community representative who knows exactly what our students are facing.
And he's got backing. The Latino Network, Young Democrats of Oregon, and Oregon Working Families Party all support him.
Folks see me as the true community representative.
Though Sanchez Bautista faces tough competition.
I spent about the last 15 years here in Northeast Portland, and I've been a longtime champion for students, and I'm also a mom.
Virginia Lefort is a mom of a Grant high schooler.
So I've got a front row seat to the student experience.
Lefort is endorsed by Willamette Women Democrats, Stand for Children, and a flurry of community leaders. She's seen changes in Portland Public, too.
We're facing high rates of chronic absenteeism, low academic scores, and we have a crumbling infrastructure.
Lefort's also kept a close eye on Portland Public's budget, which the district has slashed the past few years.
I think that my experience with budgeting and auditing can bring a really critical eye to how we review and manage our budgets.
And while the candidates make their cases,
we need student representation.
We have a lot of big problems that need some experience.
Voters will make a final call Tuesday. In Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
And stay with KGW for complete coverage this election night, including a special election edition of KGW News as that vote count comes in. Join us live at 9 for the latest results, plus local headlines and your full forecast. It's election night here on KGW. It's streaming only on KGW Plus.
And in your headlines this evening, police have arrested 2 men on murder charges. They're accused of killing a Gresham teen more than 3 years ago. 15-year-old Logan Ivy was killed at the Columbia Trails Apartments in December of 2021. Kevin Rivas Ramirez and Ty Sage allegedly robbed a group that included Ivy, then shot him and 2 others. Rivas Ramirez was arrested Friday and was in court yesterday. A trial date was set for June 30th. Sage was arrested in Coos County and will be extradited to Portland.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek is signaling support to withhold part of next year's tax kicker refund to cover the ballooning costs of fighting wildfires. Kotek suggests holding back $1 billion worth of the forecast $1.6 billion refund, to help shift firefighting resources from urban to rural areas. Now, Oregon law requires 2/3 of lawmakers to agree to suspend the refund, which means Democrats would need some Republican support. Tonight at 6:30 on The Story, what House Republican leader Christine Drazen had to say about the chances of that happening.
A Jewish teacher has filed a discrimination lawsuit against Portland Public Schools and the Portland Association of Teachers. The Conservative Freedom Foundation filed the suit on behalf of an unnamed high school teacher who joined the district in 2023. He says his rights were violated when pro-Palestinian lesson plan materials were distributed last year. He wants both damages and a judge to declare the move unconstitutional, alleging the suggested lessons demonized Jews and created a biased and unsafe environment. The teachers union removed the material from its website last June after pushback from Jewish community leaders. We reached out to Portland Public as well as the teachers union. Both declined to comment. Matt?
All right, Christine, thank you very much. We've had a mix of sun and showers today, and we've got both in the metro area right now. Looking out from downtown Portland to the north and east towards Vancouver, there's rain falling out of these heavy clouds that are hanging low. You see the sun breaks in between, just 59 degrees, but don't worry. We've got a warm up on the way. But you see the rain showers we were just looking at. It's this one right along I-205, just east of I-5. Scooting off pretty quickly to the east right now across Clark County and Multnomah County and into the gorge, but these are all going to begin to wind down now that the sun is dropping closer to the horizon. There's still some out in the Coast Range, so we're not done yet, but these will end overnight tonight and the sky will clear and we're off to the races with a stretch of some really nice weather. Look at the clearing happening in Washington County right now at the reserve, still just 59 there, but you can see the clear sky. That's going to lead to a chilly morning. We've got a frost advisory out for the Hood River Valley. Here in the Willamette Valley, we'll only drop to the low 40s, so no frost threat, but still cool. But we get sunshine tomorrow, and it gets even warmer for the holiday weekend. We'll talk about how warm a bit later, guys.
Oh, sounds great. Thanks, Matt.
Now at 6, a Portland Catholic school principal has been fired weeks after she called 911 during a confrontation with a black family.
Libby Dowsett's live at the Meline School in Northeast Portland with the update and new audio from that 911 call. Libby?
David, former principal Teresa Rast called 911 on March 31st, saying there were parents in the office yelling, refusing to leave. Well, those parents talked to KGW and they say they had been informed by the school that there was a possible racial incident on the playground involving their 4th grader, and they wanted answers from Rast.
911, what is the address of your emergency? Yes, I've got an emergency at 3240 Southeast 23rd. Parents at the school yelling and refusing to leave.
Former principal Teresa Rast calls 911 from the Meline School March 31st. You can hear the voices in the background as Rast answers the operator's questions.
Do you know what their names are? No. Okay, and are they white, black, Hispanic, Asian? Second one.
Rast tells the operator she doesn't want to hang up. A few minutes later, she's heard interacting with the parents.
and you want to nail me to a cross over and over and over again, and it's not productive. I'm right here advocating for your child who did come sit in my chair in my office and does trust me. And that's fine. Well, then he acts like he does. Well, he acts like he does. Talks to me all the time. So, oh my God.
You can't hear the parents' voices clearly on the recording, but Kara Stoudemire Phillips and her husband, Mike Phillips, told us in person earlier this month they had rushed to the school to comfort their son after a racial slur may have been directed at him and to question how leadership was going to respond. They said they were met with defensiveness by then Principal Rast.
We were just wanting answers. And she stated that, if we don't trust her, then we can take him out. He can go somewhere else.
She yelled at us, if you don't trust me, then why do you even have him at this school?
Why do you want him to have this terrible relationship with the school? Then why do you have him here? Well, I'm the one leading the pack here. Sorry.
A few seconds later,
I'm sorry, you have to be able to partner with Father B and I if you want to be at the school.
Phillips telling KGW he questioned Principal Rast's motivation for calling police.
If it was a threat, how come it's fine now? Mm-hmm. You did that because you could. Mm-hmm. You did that because you understood the ramifications of it to me. And it's not right, it's not fair, and it could have turned out very different.
Portland police responded to the school but were told they were no longer needed. The couple's son was then expelled. The family told they needed to seek school elsewhere. Rast's attorney saying his client was reportedly put on leave for her own personal safety, now confirming she was fired. And we reached out to the Portland Archdiocese for more information on that firing, and we have yet to hear back. David and Christine.
Libby Dowsett reporting live for us from Northeast Portland. Thank you for your reporting, Libby.